Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co, and this is another news and week in review, going over all the usual things: game news, topic of the week, all the stuff, schedule, what I played, all those things. Starting off the bat, and no laptop this week, unfortunately. Things are a little chaotic at the moment, which happened 2 weeks ago, happening again this week. We'll get the laptop back in the picture, the whole double screen situation, but for right now, just diving into this, and links as always down below. Starting off with the fact that I joined Gamefound as their CMO this past week. It's one of the videos I did this past week, but also, I guess, news thing, and it will be the topic of the week as well. We'll talk about that, but for those who missed it, on Wednesday I put up a video. I joined Gamefound. Gamefound hired me as their CMO, which means I am now working with Gamefound, and yes, that introduces a lot of complexities to this channel. I went into some of them over on my video on Wednesday. You can check that out, and we'll talk about it a drop more in the topic of the week this week. Secondly, other news thingies, speaking of Gamefound, or more Awakened Realms really, they dropped the Awakened Realms, they dropped the Tainted Grail gameplay trailer for Fall of Avalon, the PC game that they're having. They've been going through a few iterations of what kind of video game they have for Tainted Grail, and they have a pre-alpha gameplay trailer going on. You can check that out. I'll have a link to that down below. Additionally, over on Indiegogo, there's an Ultimate Magic kit. This is a charity thing for proceeds going to charity. I'll link to it down below, but if you're interested in a Magic kit crowdfunding situation over on Indiegogo, they'll have that over on, we'll have a link to that down below. And then lastly, in regular news, Lucky Ducks has a writing contest for Destinies. This has been in effect for like a few months now, but I believe they're closing it up October 1st. So if you haven't yet entered and you want to enter, I believe you should go ahead and try to get your entries in sooner rather than later while you still can. As far as game news, starting off with game news, Legacy of You, which we talked about already from Garphill Games, the solo campaign game. Very excited about that one. Despite my mixed experiences with Garphill Games, excited for Legacy of You, and that one should be coming to Kickstarter shortly. There's a Stargate game, which I'll have to see if I can find the link to it, but apparently there's a Stargate board game coming out as well, which should be fun. Then there's Enola Holmes, Finder of Lost Souls, coming from Gale Force 9 Games. It's going to be, I believe, a one versus many game that they're putting out around Enola Holmes, which I believe is coming with a second season as well on Netflix. We have Delta, which is going to be the newest game brewer game over on Gamefound. Delta will be coming out soon. We have Splendor Duel that was announced at Gen Con, a two-player version of Splendor, which I don't know the gameplay differences. There's a write-up over on Board Game Geek. You can check that out because Splendor works perfectly fine as a two-player game. I am curious to see what changes they're making over with Splendor Duel. We have Railroad Madness coming out. We have Caesar's Empire. Caesar's Empire is going to be an asterisk and obelisk themed game. I don't know if you ever read Asterisk and Obelisk growing up. I certainly did. Really enjoyed it. We bought the full case set for my kids to go through, and they've been enjoying that as well. I actually want to read through them as well because I never got to read all of them. One of the fun things about being an adult is you can actually get all those things you didn't have as a child, and sometimes, at least for me, that means when you would otherwise have to like wait to try to get one book in a series or another book in a series or go to the library or figure this out, sometimes as an adult you can just buy the box set and actually read through it properly, which I should probably do with all the time that I definitely have. And then lastly, we have Power Rangers Light and Darkness from Renegade Games. They announced that they're having a new expansion to Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid, the Light and Darkness expansion, and that will be coming out as well. And as usual, I'll have links to all these down below. Sorry for the lack of video overlay this time round. As far as topic of the week, let's dive into topic of the week. This week's video is going to be fairly on the short end, I imagine, but topic of the week is going to be around, well, the Gamefound thing. The Gamefound, me being CMO of Gamefound, and me taking a job with them. And it's a very short topic of the week, or at least it should be, unless I get distracted and rambly, but more to address the general reception to the video I put out on Wednesday, which overall has been incredibly positive, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you as usual. And I'd say, like, I had a few people who talked to me about, like, oh, how was the reception? Like, you know, I know a bunch of criticism around the conversation, and I was like, honestly, I expected a lot more. And what I did get was mostly positive feedback and appreciation and well wishes, which is incredible. And then a lot of very reasonable concerns, well phrased and non-aggressive, which is exactly how I like all feedback to go. I never mind a concern or a conversation. It's more about the way it's delivered, and I would say most of the people who did have a potential concern or problem around it were they were direct and polite and nothing better than what I could have asked for, and so I appreciate that. For context, that's the general idea that this Gamefound thing absolutely introduces a degree of conflict and navigation around Board Game Co. and how I function as a channel while working for a entity in the board game space. And it's an absolutely reasonable concern that many people should, and many people do have, many people don't have, and I think it's a reasonable conversation. And to that end, it's just going to be a conversation that I navigate along the way and hope for the best and try for the best and see how it all goes out. And I understand the concerns from some people who are like, oh, well, you know what, I'll no longer be able to watch your this coverage or your that coverage, or maybe I'll watch your top 10 list, but I won't watch this, that, or the other. All those kinds of conversations. You looking for something? What do you need? No? You're good? Okay, cool. All right, cool. You're looking as if you wanted something over there.
Just seeing if I have anything around.
Okay, cool. No, y'all good. But yeah, sorry, it's just Meg's in the background over there. I just want to see if she actually needed anything. But anyways, oh, now you're popping into the video?
Hi!
Hello. Yeah, sometimes, by the way, these weird conversations is the fact that I'm talking to you over here with, like, an audience in the background. That does and can happen. But going back to what I said about the nature of the Gamefound conflict of interest and all that kind of conversation is, I think that many people have reasonable concerns around how that will impact the channel, how that will impact the content. What will Board Game Co. become? I have been in the board game space for 11 years now. That sounds right. 11 years. Yeah, it sounds right. 11 years now. And I've watched people in the board game content creator space morph and migrate and change in different ways. And I've certainly seen people who have shifted their approach to content, whatever shifted means, whether it means, I won't get into what it means, but I've seen people approach their shift in the way they are in the space and what they do, how they do it. And I've seen some people survive through that just fine. And I've seen some people potentially seem to lose their voice at times. And so I understand anyone who has a concern around that. I absolutely do. I think those of you who have been following me for long enough likely understand that I'm probably going to be the same person I always have. Not just be the same person, but have the same voice, have the same conversations. It's never my goal to ever... I guess the way I'd put it is, the reason I don't take money for board game coverage, the reason I haven't taken money for board game coverage, because when I could absolutely charge left, right, and center the way many content creators do, hey, you want coverage of your game? Let's do a preview. It's going to cost you $500, whatever it is. A gameplay, great, that'll be $750. The reason I've never actually sat there and charged in a space where I absolutely could charge, in a space where I have the views to charge for it, it's not because I'm worried about the audience's perception of bias. I've always been worried that it'll make things less fun for me. That if I do so, I'll find it more constricting, I'll find it more punishing, and I'll take a passion and a hobby that I love, and I'll turn it into something that just isn't fun anymore. And if I wanted to do that, I'd rather not be in the space at all. I'd rather just have my hobby and have a job and call it a day. And I think that logic, to me, applies to why I took this job at Gamefound, and whether I think it will or won't turn content creation to something not fun for me. I like talking about board games. I like covering board games. I like conversations around board games. I like this hobby in so many different ways, and I enjoy so many aspects of it. And there might be shifts, adjustments. One thing I'm doing already is I'm leaning a bit more heavily into gameplays for fun. Not gameplays of the newest, hottest game that's on Kickstarter this week, but hey, you know what? We just filmed today a gameplay for Dune Imperium that was a lot of fun. I got to play one of my favorite games, and I'll have a video of it as well, with the Rise of X expansion. That should be fun. Ish, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you'll watch it, maybe you won't. I don't really mind. For me, that's an opportunity to dive into a little bit more of the fun areas in ways and opportunities, and I don't have easy answers. I won't. It's always going to be an evolution from this opportunity to the next opportunity to the next thing and the next thing after that. And there'll always be concerns about everything that gets affected in different ways, and I understand that. And to those who already said, hey, they're done, they can't watch my channel anymore, even if they, again, many people said this with well wishes, hey, wish you the best, happy for you, understand that you took it, also, I can't watch your videos anymore. Totally fine. That's your choice. I'd imagine that, and to be very clear, most of the comments and reception were very positive. I'm just talking about those aspects, but I understand anyone who has to make any decision they have to make. I'll still be here talking about board games, and over time, people will decide whether that's still useful to them or not. Ultimately, time will tell. I don't just mean that on your end, I mean that in mine as well. This is a big shift. This does put blockers into some of the things I can say in the board game space. This does. Conflict of interest is real, and while I will navigate that with the level that I'm comfortable with, which may not be the level you're comfortable with, there will be some people, I've seen a few people who said, hey, I should not have a two-back or not-to-back series at all in any way, shape, or form. It is an inherent problem. That's absolutely an opinion that I respect, but it's not going to stop me from having it. Whether someone gets value from the content or not is the choice they'll have to make as they watch it. For me, it's going to be a constant degree of navigation and figuring out what makes sense for me along the way. And I appreciate all of you that are here along for the ride. Which brings us to the week in review, starting off with what I played, which is a whole bunch. I haven't logged it all yet, but let's go ahead and get this done over here. Week in review. So, I'm so behind on logged plays, which makes sense. That's just where we are right now. Let's say, this past... Where are we? This is Saturday. No, over there. Over here we are. Okay, great. Here we go. So Thursday, I played Stifling Dark. The Stifling Dark on Thursday. That's a one versus many. It's a one versus many hidden movement game. We'll talk more about that as we get closer. Played Gloomhaven. A few plays of Gloomhaven as usual over on Camp Co-op on Twitch. We're playing through Gloomhaven all the time. And sadly, for those who are following along, no, I did not retire. Gloomhaven, I did not retire yet. Meg, yet. I'm up to Thursday, not Sunday. The someone in the background, it's very distracting. Then past that, we had, so did not retire over on Thursday, played a few games of Gloomhaven, then played Welcome 2 after that, got that played as well. On Friday, I dove into Rivet Wars. Rivet Wars Reloaded, more specifically, from Steamforged Games, having an opportunity to try out the changes and adjustments to the game. I've had Rivet Wars in my collection for a long time, and I'm playing through that. Then on Saturday, I got a few games played. We got Wildstyle, Mariposas, Block and Key, My Little Flower Shop, a bunch of games, but Wildstyle in particular, which I covered on the channel this past week, actually, is a real-time game, very solid game from Pandasaurus, really enjoyed. Mariposas from EAEG, a little on the lighter side, we'll probably be playing it, and we'll talk more about it more. Block and Key from Inside Up, we'll be reviewing that one, so we'll talk more about that one later. And then My Little Flower Shop Dice from Dr. Finn's Games. He has a bunch of these small box games. I've been slowly making my way through them, and we'll probably be doing a aggregated review of a few of them. On Sunday, we played Gloomhaven, and Gloomhaven again, and sadly, I retired. My character, my Mind Thief, Muskrat McBoard game over on Gloomhaven Digital. He sadly retired. In case you've been following that journey over on Twitch, it's as a level 8 character, didn't even make his way to level 9. He's retired, and that means he's dead forever. Yes, Meg, that was to bait you intentionally. Meg, every time I said he's going to die, Meg's like, he's going to retire.
Pokemon don't die, they only get knocked out.
It's not Pokemon, Meg. It's not Pokemon. Then I also played Power Core. Power Core from Board and Dice. We played Power Core. That's a Power Core Call of Cthulhu from Board and Dice. I got a few plays of that in. On Monday, this whole next week is going to be Hoplomachus mostly, but Monday we played Hoplomachus a bunch of times. Then we played Bunny Kingdom, which is always fun. Then on Tuesday, Hoplomachus a bunch of times. Then Forsaken from Travis Chance and Game Trace Labs. Forsaken, great game. We'll have a gameplay and review of that. Then we have Vindication, a gameplay of Vindication, not a gameplay, just playing Vindication. Playing Vindication for fun, playing Marvel United, diving into that one with my son, and actually Meg as well. On Wednesday we had Harrow County, got a play of Harrow County in, as well as like a whole bunch of sessions of Hoplomachus. Sessions is relative. Hoplomachus is multiple tiny little games, one at a time, each one ranging between 5 minutes to half an hour, but I just played Hoplomachus for several hours is what I'm saying. Then Thursday got a play of Dune Imperium, which is great. Dune Imperium with the Rise of Expansion. That's the gameplay we just filmed today, and that is where I'm up to as far as the games I played. Still a whole bunch, always less than I want, always more than I expect, and that's not true. Always more than I deserve, and always less than I want. That sounds better, as far as gameplays and all that. Which brings us to the Week in Review. Week in Review, starting off with Saturday. This past Saturday, I did a review for It's a Wonderful World from Lucky Duck Games. Overall, enjoyed the game, but for me, I still prefer Seven Wonders. They're not directly comparable. They're just drafting games with a degree of ages and tableau building, and I prefer Seven Wonders as a system both thematically and mechanically, but I do enjoy It's a Wonderful World. I liked it more with the Corruption and Ascension expansion, but still not enough for me to keep that one. Later on Saturday, I reviewed 10 small box games. This was an aggregate review of a whole bunch of small box games, getting a whole bunch knocked out at once, only one or two of which I'm keeping, and I think one I'm keeping for myself and one I'm keeping for my kids, and the other 8 are all totally fine games that are going away. On Monday, no, that's not true. On Sunday I did Where Are They Now, covering the games I reviewed last year, just going over what changed, how they changed, anything from Lords of Ragnarok to Chronicles of Drunagar, just going over a whole bunch of these games and how my opinions have or have not changed in the year since then. On Monday, we did To Back or Not to Back, going over, well, Kickstarters and Gamefounds. It's not true, there were no Gamefounds this past week. There were just Kickstarters, but no active Gamefounds this past week. Wait, is that true? No new active Gamefounds, but a whole bunch of Kickstarter games, diving into them. I think I'm backing Foundations of Rome, the expansion, and after that, I think I'm probably not backing the rest, trying to, as usual, have a little bit more self-control as I back fewer and fewer projects. On Tuesday we had a few reviews. We had a review for Wildstyle from Pandasaurus Games. Really enjoy that one. Don't know if it has longevity or not. Time will tell. It's a gimmicky because it's real-time set control. It's real-time area control set. What's it called? Sets. What do you call sets again? Set collection. There we go. real-time area control set collection game, and I enjoyed it. It was a nice pacing of a game. I think it is gimmicky, so I don't think it lasts. It's the kind of game that will play or not play, and time will tell. But so far, I very much enjoyed it. While again, it is a real-time game. Real-time games for me, just historically, they're always fun. And then like a year later, I'm like, and now I'm not playing it anymore. That does happen for me. We'll see what happens with Wildstyle. Then later on Tuesday, we had a review for Cape May from Thunderworks Games. That one's a little lighter for my taste. Very beautiful, very fun, very simple, but not as much to my personal preference. Then lastly on Tuesday, I had a review, not a review, a unboxing and rambling for Dice Throne, all the Dice Throne stuff, from Dice Throne to Dice Throne Marvel to Dice Throne Adventures that's it. Dice Throne Marvel, Dice Throne Adventures. I guess Dice Throne Season 1 and Season 2, that's what I'm thinking is another one. But overall, Dice Throne's a fun game. I think there's a lot of Dice Throne. I don't need that much Dice Throne, but I do need to dive into Dice Throne Adventures. I really want to give that a shot, and I keep meaning to. I've read the rulebook multiple times and have not actually sat down and tabled it. Over on Wednesday, we had a live Q&A early on, and then later on in the day, we had that whole Gamefound announcement video, just covering, hey, you know, I took a job at Gamefound, here's the nature of the situation, here's the potential conflicts, here's some of the areas I plan on mitigating them, and for the rest of them, you'll have to do what you have to do. Also, here's what I'm doing for Gamefound, here's why I took the job, just a whole conversation around the Gamefound situation and space. On Thursday, we had the worst 10 games in Professor Mike's collection. I actually filmed this one like several weeks back. This is from, I don't even know at this point, this is from like 5-6 weeks ago, but filmed a worst 10 games of Professor Mike's collection. As usual, this is not 10 bad games. These are 10 games generally well received, but I'm trying to go through someone else's collection and tear them apart as much as possible. For me, I really don't like Fireball Island. Really don't like it. It's a and that's partially you still here. You're still here.
For you to come back. Where are the ketchup chips?
The ketchup chips? Oh, I put them upstairs. Back upstairs in the corner of the kitchen on the floor. Yep, you'll see bench bags. I think so. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Fireball Island. Fireball Island, I do not enjoy Fireball Island, although that's partially because I'm forced to play it with my children, and they take forever, and so that game drags and is slow. Also, Crossmaster Arena, didn't like that one when I played it back in the day. Past that is a bunch of reasonable games that are good in different ways, like Seven Wonders Architects. That's a totally fine game. I don't see the reason for it to exist. I'd rather play Seven Wonders. Seven Wonders Architects is very very light. It's lighter than Seven Wonders without the drafting. It's accessible. Hey, if it brings people into the hobby, I am all for it. Does not mean I have to personally enjoy it. Then on Friday I had what I played for July, I believe. I think we're in July at this point. I mean, we're basically closing out in August, but I think this was to cover the games I played in July. I need to get caught up in August and see where I'm up to. Basically, I'm on this whole game a day challenge of going through all the one new game every single day. That's for this year, just for 2022. It will not last past 2022. This whole Gamefound thing is going to take up more of my time, and I'm going to be trying to focus more on playing games I already love and a little bit less on newer games. Still newer games, just a drop less on them. And so this past July, I played like Rove from Addicts Games. It's going to be a Gloomhaven competitor to a degree. Not competitive, probably the wrong term. Gloomhaven is genre of game. We have Tyrants of the Underdark, we have Scout, a whole bunch of games that I played through July, just covering just quick, brief notes and opinions on those games. And then today we have a few things going up. That's not entirely true. Today we have a gameplay of Forsaken going up, and we might have a review as well. I'm still navigating this process. I said in my Gamefound video that I'm going to be lowering my Tuesday and Saturday days to 2 videos a day instead of 3 a day, and we'll see if that holds up. I don't know yet. I don't know. I just have too much of a backlog that I think I might just have to keep doing more videos, even though I said I wouldn't. We'll see. There's more gameplays for fun, and so we'll figure out where that exactly lies in the conversation. But that's today's video. So again, definitely Forsaken gameplay, maybe a review as well. We'll find out. Which brings us to next week. Next week we have a few videos going up. We'll have a video on board game upgrades going up. We'll have a video on the upcoming Kickstarters and Gamefounds and backer kits for September, and then we'll have games leaving the collection for August as well. A whole bunch of videos, whole bunch of conversations and all those things, and we'll go through all of that next week. And then lastly, games on the table. This is where we'll see what we actually get played. I'm traveling to Toronto shortly, which is why if you think these are all smaller box games, you're not wrong. These are all smaller box games. We have Tiny Pirates, we have Trek 12, we have the biggest box here, Blitzball Ultimate Edition over here. This is going to be the hardest one because I still have to assemble the miniatures, but we'll see if we get a table. And Power Rangers deck building game. These are all games I hope to get tabled. As usual, I tend to get about like half of them tabled. Honestly, if I get one of these tabled, I'll consider it a success. This week is going to be busy. This past week has been busy. The next week's going to be busy, and we'll see what we actually get played. In any case, and until next time, that's gonna be everything. Like I said already, a faster week in review than usual. I'm just a little short on time, and by a little short on time, I mean I'm so out of time it is not even funny. But either way, until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. Hope you appreciate this video, and as always, and until next time, I hope you have a good one.